when you criticize original sin, there's different ways that this is received. So from the lay level to the scholarly, we're going to hear this and respond differently. So for the viewers that are watching, when I criticize original sin, I'm not denying that Adam was the first man to sin, that Eve was deceived and handed him the fruit and he did therefore willingly eat, that there's not a myriad of consequences that outpoured from that decision, chief of which he introduced sin into the world and was cut off from the tree of life, introducing therefore death. But you also have legless serpents, painful childbirth, thorns and thistles and toil, expulsion from Eden, strained relationships. All of this, and even in Genesis, in that account of the fall, that's the first reference to the coming Messiah, Genesis 3:15, where it says he'll bruise his heel, but he'll crush his head. All of this, I'm affirming. I don't want anybody thinking when I say that I object to original sin that I'm denying any of that. That's biblical. You can't escape that. That's like, if you're going to be a Christian, you have to deal with that. When I talk about original sin, what I'm talking about is specifically Augustine's synthesis of these ideas that he got from Plato, from Manes, from the Messalians, from the Encratites, from asceticism and Stoicism, and the way that he synthesized that with Christianity. And so ultimately, the mark of delineation between biblical original sin, which is a lower O, lower S, and the Augustinian doctrine of original sin, which is capital O, capital S, is that as a result of Adam, we were all in Adam. This is an issue that he struggled with because he couldn't understand the Greek or the Hebrew. He relied on Jerome's Latin translation. So when it said that we sinned because of Adam in the original text, in the Latin could be read because of Adam or in Adam, and because of these biases that he had already had, he thought we were literally in the loins of Adam, therefore made of sinful substances. Now, Augustinians will argue over this to no end. They're going to come in and say this idea of concupiscence or this stain on mankind, where we're all guilty of Adam's sin, therefore we come into existence deserving God's wrath and condemnation and judgment, and it's what causes us to go into personal sins. They're going to say that this is a stain. Some will argue that it's an addition to human nature. Some are going to argue that it is a privation of divine grace. But God was so mad at Adam for sinning that he withheld the ability for his progeny not to sin, which is an incoherent claim. But they're going to say that it's an absence of human nature. But ultimately what they're going to say is, regardless of how they argue that, we come into the world infants, guilty and damned.